All right. Welcome. Welcome. Man, am I tan. Holy crap. I'm like dark. I got to stay inside. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Fareed, what's up, man? Welcome back, man. I haven't seen you in a while. Fareed from Japan, I remember you. Why you take Tesla puts but not me? Good morning. How's everyone doing? Welcome back. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm feeling good today. Why not? Every day's a beautiful day. Morning, everyone. Every day we wake up and we're able to watch the stock market. It's a beautiful day. We need a video of the worst loss you ever had or a day in the life. Well, worst loss I've ever had was a Tesla swing trade, like 3 years ago. And day in the life is live stream, Discord, gym, and watching Suits, and then probably video games. That's about my day. There ain't no rides in Lamborghinis, going to Cartier, going to buy a Rolex. Yeah, that's not a normal day in the life. That's the fake day in the life. Day in the life is trade, work, gym, watch Suits, play video games, save my money, and that's about it. It's about it. So I don't know if I'm going to make a video about that, but I could. I can make like a real day in the life of a trader, which would just be like a comedy. A comedy of making fun of other day in the lives. I play Battlefield. I play... You're going to laugh at this one. I play Sea of Thieves quite a bit. I think it's so fun. with some friends. What else do I play? I play Overwatch sometimes. That's usually it. Battlefield, Sea of Thieves, and Overwatch. What am I going to do with all that coin? I'm saving up to buy houses. I'm probably going to buy a house in November. I just want to start building the portfolio, man. I'm thinking long term. I want to be able to set myself up, you know. YC is going on me. Why you suntanning on me? Oh yeah, Suits. Love it, man. I'm intensely invested in Suits. Who gave me $10? Kurt, thank you, brother. $10 donation. Appreciate that. All right, guys. Let's get started. So, welcome back. Hope you guys have a fantastic. Do I need a wife? No, I don't need a wife. If they wanna come into my life, sure. But I don't need a wife right now. Hope you guys had a fantastic day yesterday. Hope you're having a good morning today. Very nice day for me yesterday. One of my biggest days of the year. Anytime I have a 5-figure day, it's probably the biggest day of the year. I think I've had 3 of those this year. So yesterday, very nice day. Tesla puts, stayed confident in my analysis, worked out beautifully. And I'm still in them. So really nice stuff. If you watched my video yesterday, you would know why. You'll understand why I held them. I did the analysis, very full analysis there yesterday. I recommend you watch that. But we'll go over it again today. Some nice breaks on the market yesterday. SPY broke a very key 444 level. This is something we have to watch this morning. Yeah, I'm sitting on a 3% mortgage rate as well with my other house. I have another home in Naples, Florida that I bought, at 3.9 for $270,000, which is now worth like $5 million. So up really nicely on that house. But yeah, it's a little, interest rates are a little high, but the rents are high as well. So it's all relative, really. So let's get started. Why is this not working? My Stream Deck is not working today. I don't know why. So I'm going to have to manually go through this. All right. All right. So today, economic calendar. Today we have FOMC minutes, 2 o'clock. FOMC minutes, 2 o'clock. That is the main event of the day. Obviously, we should expect some type of volatility. We shouldn't expect anything wild. We don't typically get anything too wild on the minutes. We do see usually that big move on the actual, Jerome Powell press conference and the rate decision. FOMC minutes is just a sort of a press conference. I'm sorry, not a press conference. Press release from the last meeting that they had. So if there's any major changes, you can expect some big moves, but typically there are not. So we'll see. 2 o'clock, just be aware of that. Be aware of any type of momentum, any type of volatility there at 2 o'clock today. I'm probably going to, looking at Tesla this morning, down quite a bit in the pre-market. Obviously, I'm going to be scaling out of some of my swing trade this morning. I'm going to make sure that I don't mess anything up, right? Holding through 2 o'clock. Of course, I'll hold some, but absolutely I'll be scaling out some, putting myself in the right position. So if you guys have any swing trades, if you have any, anything that looks good this morning, just make sure you're, protecting yourself. Don't be dumb. Don't hold through this because you want more, because you're getting greedy. Take some profits. Protect yourself, right? It's a nice win. So that's sort of my game plan today. 2 o'clock FOMC minutes. Housing starts this morning. Building permits at 8:30. I really don't think there's much that, will happen there. If you guys see anything at 8:30, let me know. I'm not going to switch to the futures at this time. But if you see any kind of big move, let me know and I'll go to it. Tomorrow, jobless claims, and that's pretty much the end of the week on the economic side. If you want, see this, I don't get this, right? This, I cannot believe that this is real. 2.9% APR for 36 months. Yeah, that's not happening, Infinity. That's a total bait and switch right there. I don't know how they're giving out 2.9% on New Infinity, but if you guys are interested in New Infinity, there you go. I should be getting paid for these ads. Yeah, today, FOMC minutes, that's the main event. Let's go back to the schedule. Let's get the earnings, because this morning you did have Target earnings. I have been buying some Target shares down here, just the, disclosure. Maybe I should disclose the stocks that I am invested in. Maybe that's a good idea. So I have been buying some Target shares down at these lows. A little bit of a pop this morning on Target due to earnings. Some other retail names moving as well. You guys remember 900 credit score. Yeah, the highest credit score possible, and you're probably buying points. It's really 8%, and you're buying 6 points. Target this morning, a little bit of movement on some retailers this morning as well. You can see Walmart, Lululemon's higher. Costco's a little bit higher, right? So a little bit of movement on those retailers. So keep an eye on that, right? We talked about that early this week, saying this could be a big week for retail. So keep an eye on those retailers today. You have Target and you have Walmart tomorrow. That's really the only big ones that you're getting out here this week. So today was Target. Tomorrow morning, Walmart. Keep an eye on that. All right. Let's go back to the schedule. Tesla volume gap, right? We'll do a quick analysis here on the Tesla trade that I'm in. I'm not going to spend too much time here because I made an entire 15-minute video about that yesterday. I recommend you watch that. It was actually a very highly watched video, so I appreciate you guys on the support, right? Any YouTube guy, anyone that makes YouTube videos, they absolutely really are, their mood is affected by how people react to their videos. So I appreciate you guys watching that video. It was one of the highest watched videos in a short amount of period on my channel. So appreciate that. I think it's a really nice analysis, really good watch if you're trying to understand maybe some longer term analysis. So make sure to check that out. Nvidia 440, big level today, Meta 300, Microsoft 320. This might be one of the most important levels to be watching on the market. Microsoft is obviously a huge part of the NASDAQ. I think it's actually number one as of right now. Let me check real quick. NASDAQ weighting. I believe Microsoft is okay, it's back down to number two. Apple number one, Microsoft number two. It flips every now and then. But Microsoft number two in the weighting of the NASDAQ. So if Microsoft starts to lose it under this 320 level, I think there will be a reaction on the market. This is something I would absolutely be watching. So Microsoft 320, Coinbase, a little bit of a pop this morning off some news, hitting an important supply I want to point out. Netflix breaking retest, and Apple 100 SMA. All right? That's our schedule. Let's get into it. Let's try to get out of here early, huh? My day's already done. So, my day's pretty much done. I'm not going to be sweating bullets all day trying to continue to trade after this swing trade on Tesla, but we'll see. NASDAQ. So let's go to the 30-minute on NASDAQ, and let's break this down. So we can see here, right, NASDAQ, our important level to be watching right now is 15,150. 15,150, previous lows, right? Previous highs, previous lows, and we broke that level yesterday near close. That was a very important break, 15,150. If I go to the 5-minute chart, you guys can see pretty much all day yesterday, we attempted to hold this 15,150, and we could not, right? Or I'm sorry, we held it intraday yesterday, right? But eventually we got that slip below. We got that drop below 15,150. So after that break below 15,150, look at what's happened, right? We have now turned 15,150 into rejections. So if we go back to the 30-minute chart and we look at sort of what's going on here, when we zoom out a little bit, we now can see 15,150 has turned into a potential rejection point, right? And that is what you're watching today. You are not going to long this market back into 15,150. If the NASDAQ is under this level, then the NASDAQ stays weak. Under NASDAQ 15,150, we stay weak, right? Now, downside demand is still there, right? We need to understand that. Downside demand is definitely still there. You have this 15,000 area, 15,100, Anywhere down below like 15.1, demand starts to step up here, right? So we can't be short here, right? If the market drops today, if you're shorting here, you're doing the absolute wrong thing, right? That's not how you play. That's not how you trade. You do not trade shorts at demand, right? So yes, it's very weak. The NASDAQ is weak, but you don't short the lows. So if you get a pop into 150, look for that supply rejection. If you get a pop into 250, look for that supply rejection, right? At those levels. Do not short and chase downside into demand. You know what happens when you do that. So if you do get a downside move this morning into this demand, be cautious of this holding again, right? This could absolutely just channel and sort of chop around until 2 o'clock today, right? Remember, we do have FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock. Is there a tendency for the market to stay relatively balanced into that event? Yes, right? So is it possible we trade within this channel today? Yes, that is also very possible, right? So just watch these levels. You guys know the story. If you come to this live stream, you should absolutely know the story by now. 15,150 supply, 1540, 15,000 demand, right? This area down here, definitely some demand. Be careful of entering new shorts here. Be careful of entering longs at supply. Try to play this channel that we're seeing right now. So look for that supply, 15,150, demand 15,000. If you get any upside today over 150, right, then you possibly could see that move into the 250, right? That would be your next move into the 250. Under 15,000 on the NASDAQ. So looking at like what would be the next level here? Under 15,000 on the NASDAQ. I think you're looking at this 14,850, right? That's really your next level. Under 15K, I think you're looking at 14,850 on the NASDAQ, right? You can see this right here and this right here. You see how quickly we dropped below 15,000 the last time it happened, right? So if we get that 15K drop, if we get some real strong movement to the downside, then I would look for that move into that 14,850, right? That would be your next area of support, all right? I will say, right, a lot of wicks down here, right? The demand is definitely still there, so don't just go out there and get so super aggressive to the downside. We still have to be aware. We still have to be smart down at these lows that continue to hold, all right? So that's NASDAQ. QQQ. 30-minute chart. Pretty clear here, right? Pretty clear. 368. If we go to the 30-minute, we sort of zoom out here. 368. You guys can see right there. 368, 368, 368. And what happened this morning? 368. All right, so that's your level. That's clear as day. If the QQQ is under 368, you are not longing this market, right? I want to make something clear. I want to talk about something, right? A tendency, a psychology thing here. I am not interested. Once again, I've talked about this on the stream, and I still believe I'm right by doing this. I do not have interest in longing demands right now at all. I have no interest in longing any demands on this market. Why? Why do I not want to long demands in this market? Because the trend is extremely weak and definitely lower, right? This is your trend over the last few weeks, right? I do not have interest in longing demands in a downtrending market now, right? That's the same thing that goes for the market, a few months ago when we were going straight up. This is where you long demands and you do not short supplies. Right now, you do not long demands and you short the supplies, right? I am not interested in longing off the lows in this market, right? I have no interest. I don't care if it happens. It doesn't matter, right? If it happens, great. I'm not interested in that trade because that is the lower probability trade, and that is the trade that's against the trend, right? So the only day of this week that I lost any money is the day where we actually continued higher. This is on Monday. Monday of this week, it got me, right? It got me a little bit. But that's okay, right? It's okay to have one losing day where the normal trend sort of breaks in the short term, right? This was a day that really was not resemblant of the remaining, last 2 weeks, right? Monday was a little bit of an outlier day. So I tried to short some of these supplies, right? I tried to short this supply. I tried to short this supply. It didn't give me the move, which is fine, right? It is what it is. But I'm not interested in longing the demand. I would have to guess the exact right day that the demand actually holds up and actually continues higher. As of lately, in the market trend, the right thing to do is to short the supplies. That has been the money moves, right? So I'm going to continue to think that way until it's obviously changed. And there is no reason as to thinking that has changed, right? There is no reason to why that trend has changed. Nothing has shown that. So until that shows, I will continue to look to short supplies, but I am not interested in the demand longs, right? Because I'm worried, right? When you take demand longs, you are fighting the trend and you're potentially buying into just a falling knife, which is what happened yesterday, right? If you tried the long here at the 250, you lost. If you tried the long here at the 150 yesterday, you lost, right? So I'm not interested in that. Just sort of something I want to point out, right? Just understand what market you're in right now. It's definitely weak, right? So 368, watch that supply in the Qs. Downside demand is down here at 365. You got about a 3-point range today on the QQQ. All right? Yeah, I mean, secret treasures, hey, guys, at some point in your trading, you have to stop caring about losing, right? At some point in your trading, you have to grow up and you have to understand that you are going to lose money. It's it. It's a non-negotiable. You are going to lose money, and if you can, the key as a trader is to make sure that when you lose money, you don't blow up your goddamn account, right? If you're wrong, accept that you're wrong. Do not make a day like Monday where you're wrong on the trend, which I was. I was wrong, but I lost 400. What I end up losing that day? I think realized I lost like $600. That's not blowing up my account. So I can accept that, right? Accept that you were wrong that day. Take your loss. Don't go on tilt. Don't feel like just because you lost that you're terrible, and move on. Go to the next day, right? So that's the key. We have to grow up as traders. We have to accept that you are going to lose money. All right? So very clear ES here. S&P 500 futures. This is as clear as day. I mean, there's literally nothing clearer than you could. This is just as clear as it can be. Really, right? This is about as clear as it can be. ES 44.65. Previous lows. Previous lows. Previous lows. Previous little consolidation here yesterday. And bam. Bam. Rejection. Boom. 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 Clear as day. So, why even consider a long trade today if you are below 44.65? There is not a single reason in the world to be longing this market if you are below 44.65. If you are trading with a longer term, play with the trend, trade with what the market's giving you mentality. All right? If you want to be contrarian and you want to long off this demand into 44.65, sure, right? That trade might be there today, right? You might be able to long off 4,447, 4,447, right? There might be a long there into 44.65, but why take that trade, right? Why take that trade against the grain? Why try to long this demand? That's literally just a previous day low, right? There's really nothing there. It's not that strong of a level. It's just a previous day low that is held in the after hours and pre-market. So as long as the ES is under 44.65, this stays weak, right? And if you break this low here, 4,447, 4,447, if you break this low here today, you are going to get continuation to the downside, right? If you break this low right here, there is going to be downside continuation on this ES, right? It is very clear. If you get that downside break under 4,447, if we go out to the 4-hour chart, my TOS is slow today, like really slow. If you break that level, I think you're moving into the 4420s. 4,420, that's where I think you're moving next. If you break that 4,447. You break that, you move into 44.20s on the ES, in my opinion. All right? So very clear textbook analysis, very clear levels here today. I mean, this is just, it's not going to get much cleaner than what the ES is showing you today, right? It's previous lows into rejections. That's all you need to see, right? Previous triple bottom lows into a rejection. And yeah, play it. Don't go against it. Just play the level. SPY, unbelievably clean 444 rejection this morning. This is again just a really textbook level here on the SPY, right? You guys remember we talked about this 444 level on the SPY, how important it was for the SPY to hold this level, right? You guys can see right here, 444, 444. Look at how clean we are rejecting that level this morning, right? So if the SPY is under 444, you are not longing this market, right? If you're under that 444, you are not looking to long this market. If you get back above it, if you turn it back into demand, right, then you can look for that long. All right, that's what gives you the confirmation for longs, a break and hold back above 444. That could happen, right? That is still possible. And if it happens, you have to react and you have to trade it accordingly. If you stay below it, if it continues to act as rejections, then this stays weak. If you break the lows, you're obviously moving lower, right? So very clear here on the SPY, 444 and yesterday's lows. That's what you're watching. Mike Jones, Daniel Jones, Chris Jones. Where's Chris? Yeah, look at this. I haven't even updated this. See, you guys can tell that I don't even look at these charts before. Some of the ones that I really don't pay attention, like the Dow, I don't pay attention too much. But, I mean, you saw that level, right? Look at how clean that is. 35,100. What is the previous lows turning into on the Dow? Previous lows, previous lows, previous lows, previous lows. Break, retest, rejection, right? Easy as day. Easy as, clean as day. Easy as can be, right? Break and retest, 35,100. Break, retest. That's why the break and retest is so nice, right? Previous quadruple bottom into a morning supply this morning. If you're under that on 35,100, the Dow stays weak, right? If you're under 35,100, the Dow stays weak. Look at how clean that little break and retest looks on the 4-hour chart. So if you hold under that 35.1, your next shelf is right around here. It's around the 50 SMA. It's around this 34,800, right? 34,800. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, triple top. That would be your next level that you move into if you go and you stay under the 35.1, right? Russell. So Russell broke under the 1920. We're stuck under the 1920. As long as the Russell's under 1920, right, then you're moving lower. Just look at that 1920. Next demand steps in around this 1880 area. 1880 and the 200 SMA. So as long as the Russell's under that 1920, you're staying weak. All right, some really clean stuff out there today, guys. SPY, I think the best thing you could watch today, the cleanest thing that if you're trying to just get one thing to watch, one clear, sort of guideline today, your best guideline of the day is SPY 444. That's the easiest and cleanest thing to watch today. If you see the SPY under 444, it's weak, right? If the SPY gets back above, you flip, right? So 444 on the SPY, that's your watch. Tesla. All right, well, it's going to look good. I mean, the portfolio is definitely going to look good this morning. I think the last time I checked, I was up like $6,000 this morning. So, yeah, I'm very happy. You guys know we have talked about this every single day in the live stream. This is not new information that I'm providing here. Every day that I've come on this live stream, I have told you that if Tesla breaks under for 240, it will move lower, right? If you move under 240 into this low volume area, it's going to move lower, right? And that's it's exactly what's happening, right? And I'm not the guy to say I told you so, But I just want to make sure you're understanding this analysis, right? You see what's happening here. You understand how this works. This is a very, very, it's a very, very important thing to be watching, right? This is a very powerful tool in the market to look at where stocks sort of fall off, where their shelves are in the volume profile. This is very clear shelf here, right? You can see 240. You can see the gap in volume. You can see that we sort of pick up volume back towards this 200 level. And we can see, right, it's not only that, right? It's the break and retest of 240, right? So you have previous lows here, 240. You have the previous lows at 240. And if you go to the 5-minute chart, you can clearly see over the last few days, right, both Monday and yesterday, Tuesday, that 240 support from both Friday of last week and that 4-hour chart back in June turned into rejections, right? So break and retest, volume profile, sexy trade. Congrats if you guys are in this. I'll probably look to take profits at open, majority of it, and then, hold some runners for maybe that move towards 220, right? That's really the target. So nice trade there. There might be some more meat on the bones, right? There might be some more for you today. I'd keep an eye on that. What would I look for on the intraday? I'll go ahead and give a little intraday analysis, right? If you get any kind of pop this morning, well, first of all, you're watching these lows, right? You're watching this potential 234 rejections. That's number one. You look for that. Yesterday's close was, it looks like around this. Zoom in here a little bit. Where's yesterday's close? I got to put that on. Previous close price. Hold on, guys. Previous close price. Okay, so previous close was around this 233. Yeah, so I guess you could watch like this whole 233, 234 level as potential rejections if we come back into it. That's sort of what I'd be watching. This area right here, this previous low from Monday, and then the close from yesterday. If you get any type of bounce, that's what I'd be looking for, right? That's what I'd be looking for. But I'm not sure you're going to get that. I hope you don't. But you're just probably going to be looking at, all these pivots here. Every pivot here, you're going to look at a potential rejection point on Tesla, right? On Tesla. So, yeah, it's a nice trade. The 240 retest was really where you needed to enter. So congrats, guys, if you caught that. I'm going to move on this one now. All right. It's just a default volume profile setting. I don't change nothing. Nvidia. So 440 still holding on Nvidia. This is very important here. So 4-hour chart, right? 4-hour chart. You guys can see we have the previous highs at 440, right? Previous highs 440. We have lows at 440 right here, 440, 440. And right now today, we continue to maintain above that 440. So if the market does find any type of upside, right, Nvidia is a potential candidate for upside here off this 440, 435 level. We have this previous high here that is turning into support in the short term at 435. And we have this previous low right here. So if Nvidia can remain above this previous low, this previous high, then I think you could potentially see maybe a little bit of a wedge breakout here, right? That's very possible. Little wedge forming here on Nvidia. If there is strong NASDAQ movement and you hold this hold this demand, then look for that wedge breakout. But you got to be cautious of this 20 SMA first, right? That 20 SMA looks a little bit tough up there. 447, 448. That looks a little bit tough. That's previous day highs. If you can get above previous day highs, then you might be able to push towards that 456. This is this high right here. So if you get this move, right, you can look for that 456. Be careful of yesterday high rejections, right? Or if you get a pop back into 435, look for that demand hold. The only way I think Nvidia continues lower is a break below 435, right? If you actually get a break below 435, if you break back below that high and you turn it into a rejection here, that's the only way I think Nvidia moves lower here. So It's a tight channel, right? Nvidia might mess around in here for a few days, but there will be a move outside of this, right? It's sort of a consolidation period on Nvidia after a big move. I would look to see what happens at the 20 SMA at 448, and I would be watching the 435 lows, right? That's the channel that I'd be watching here on Nvidia. Over the 20 SMA, you move into 455. Under the 435 level, you probably move lower towards that 50, around that 430 level, all right? So Nvidia sort of consolidating there, a decent little channel to watch. All right, Meta. Meta 300. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Meta has been on this very slow downtrending move, right? No life. Every pop is getting sold into. This 300 level is going to be crucial in my opinion. If we go to the daily chart, pretty sure you still have, you pretty much filled that gap from earnings, right? You guys can see here earnings, and basically we just slid lower the entire time into that gap earnings. So you did fill that gap on earnings, right? That's nice. So watch this 300 level. It's either a break under 300 and continuation towards this 290, right? That's right here, 290, 290, and 290, right? If you break under 300, I think, and you see a rejection, that could be the move you look for down into the 290 demand. You can also monitor that 50 SMA, of course, around that 295. So 295, 290, if you break under 300. Now, if you hold 300, right, and maybe Meta has a little wake-up call, if the market has any type of wake-up call, right, if there's any kind of wake-up call off 300, right, look to see if this bull flag breaks, right, eventually. That's not going to happen. It could happen today, but that's not something I'd be looking at in the short term. If there's a wake-up call in the market, if we hold 300 demand and we start to get a pop and we get back above this 310, right, this would be a very interesting long opportunity right here. Bull flag, right, bull flag breakout above supply, which is 310. But that's more of a longer-term watch than it is, a trade today. Today, I would be more focused on what happens at 300, right? 300 flat, you've been sitting at this level for multiple days now. 300, 300, yesterday 300. So look to see if we finally lose this level, right? Or if it holds again today. Meta 300, big watch. All right, Microsoft 320. This is a big one, right? This is a big one. 320, right? I'm not even reading the the chat. If anything's important, I'll try to. We talking volume profile? We freaking out about it? Are we having a party? Are we having a conniption about the volume profile in the chat? Volume profile. Just type it in on TOS and use it. That's all I got for you. All right. Learn it. Google. Yeah. Well, plenty of YouTube videos, plenty of online education. I cannot go over how to use the volume profile in an hour-long live stream. Okay. So 320, you guys can see right here. 320, right? That's Microsoft. That's a big level for Microsoft. This is very, very similar to Tesla, right? So if you miss Tesla, listen up, right? Take a second and actually listen. If you miss Tesla, let me show you how this is potentially similar on Microsoft. One, a 320 break is the key retest level hold, right? Two, right? Look at what happens on Microsoft under 320. Look at what happens under 320 on Microsoft, okay? You guys can see under 320, really it's under like the 322, there is a gap in volume, right? A gap in volume that does not start to increase until around 312 and the peak of it being around 310. There is a gap in volume right here between 320 and 312. That is a straight up move from back here on the chart. So if you want to trade something like I did on Tesla, this is what you look for. You look for 320 to break, and you look for it to turn into a rejection. If Microsoft, if at any time in the near future, goes from turning 320 into demand here, right? If you see this flip and it starts to turn into rejections, that is when you take this trade. That is only when you actually see it turn into rejections, right? And so if we go to Tesla, right? If we go to Tesla, look at what happened at the 240 level. It broke below 240. It turned it into a rejection. It turned it into a rejection, right? That was your confirmation. So has Microsoft done that yet? No, it has not, right? If you enter now, you are at risk of shorting at demand and this bouncing off the 100 SMA and 320, right? So if you get that move below 320, if you turn it into rejections, that is where I would look for this trade. There's a low volume area under 320. That is something I'd be monitoring the rest of the week, okay? Watch that 100 SMA. It could hold it up a little bit, right? That might be a little bit unfortunate if it holds there, right? That 100 SMA, but watch this 320, okay? Yeah, that is a gap fill too, IDR. Little gap fill under 320 into like 316. Yeah. So 320, 3020, 3020. Yeah. Coinbase. So little pop on Coinbase this morning, right? This is going to get the coin boys excited. I'll tell you that, right? The coin boys are out. They're out this morning. Watch out for that 83.50, right? 83.50 on Coinbase. You guys can see right here, right? This 83.50 low, this low right here where we rallied to the upside, where we also held all here, right? 83.50, 83.50. We broke below 83.50. We popped into it, right? And look at what's happening at that level. Excuse me. Look. So, Coinbase, no matter what happened this morning, is not bullish. Under 83.50. There is nothing bullish about Coinbase here today just because of this pop. Under 83.50. Right? You guys can see that is a very key level. All right there. All right here. You pop into it, right? You pop into 83.50 and you reject. So, look to see if coin stays under the 83.50. If it does, it stays weak. If it breaks over 83.50, if you get that move above, right? If you get that move above 83.50, then maybe you can see, this trend break. Maybe, right? But you need that very clear flip back above 83.50 on Coinbase before anything turns bullish here, all right? So watch 83.50 on Coinbase. That's an interesting level today. It could be a fantastic reshort, right? Looking at the recent trend on Coinbase, if this is just a little bit of a news pop, right? Then you might be able to just reshort the hell out of this thing off 83.50, right? I don't think that news is like, oh my God, Coinbase is up 10% news. But we'll see. Netflix. This is a very nice trade on Netflix. I think ADR's in this trade. This is a really sexy setup. I might even take this myself. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but it's a great setup, right? It's just a perfect setup. It looks really good. And it's a textbook little break and retest rejection play, right? So we can see here on Netflix, 429, clear as day, previous demand, clear as day, previous demand. You break it, you reject it, and this is potentially setting up a beautiful little wedge break, bear flag into previous lows, turning the previous demand into supply, stop over 429. You got the 20 and the 50 above holding it down. If this breaks this uptrend, this is money probably back towards that 412. If you get the NASDAQ to break down here, today, right, or anytime this week, this is a money 4-hour break and retest, 1 hour break and retest, whatever time frame you're looking at it on, it's there, right? So you can see previous lows into double top rejections. You break this little 4-hour trend, this thing's moving lower into that 412. Definitely a watch. Really nice trade setup. This is the type of trade setup that if you lose on it, You don't give a shit, right? If you lose on a trade like this, you move on and you accept the loss and you stop complaining about losing money in trading, right? If you're going to take a trade like this, that's a clear setup, a clear previous low into a double top high. You use this double top high as your stop. You have a game plan. You know your stop loss. You get into the position with proper risk management, proper sizing. If you get the NASDAQ continuation in your favor, there's really nothing else that you could possibly want, right, to take this trade. If Netflix does some stupid, if Netflix does something, NASDAQ rallies today at 2 o'clock, right? Maybe you don't want to trade into 2 o'clock. Maybe the market recovers. Netflix goes above 430. You move on, you take your loss, and you look for the next trading opportunity. But that is a very nice trading opportunity. I would watch that. I like that trade setup. I pressed the wrong thing. I pressed the wrong thing. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's not over yet. It's not over yet. We're not leaving yet. That's the problem with my Stream Deck not working, because I am pressing the wrong buttons here. So back to business. Apple 177. You guys can see right here, right? 177. That's a big level, right? I just did it to get the comments going. Let's get the comments going. Let's get the algorithm going. Let's get it going. Wake up. Wake up. All right, 177. You guys can see right here on Apple, 100 SMA, right? If you break this 177, I believe you're going to see more downside on Apple, and I think this could potentially cause the downside on the market, right? That is a clear shelf on Apple. This is going to be a big watch, right? This is going to be a big watch. It might just hold again, right? It might just hold again, right? At 177, very possible. If you see Apple break 177, know that this is going to cause an effect on the market. It's a big shelf that has been created here, right? Look at this. If you lose that 100, if you start to slip that low, there's going to be pressure on the overall market on Apple, right? So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this. Very important. Very important. What does the volume profile look like on Apple? I don't really know what it's like. When you see this, there's probably going to be volume like the whole way. So it's not really like in the short term, there probably is. Let's see. I'm actually curious. This is one I don't really know what it's going to look like before looking at it. Yeah, it's choppy. It's choppy because you just have a consistent move, right? There's no big squeeze and then a consolidation. When you get a big squeeze, that's where it leaves behind that gap in volume. So you really don't, you have some gaps here, like from 177, which we just talked about, towards around like this 173 area. You got a few gaps there, but it's nothing too obvious like Tesla, right? When you look at Tesla, right, you can see how clean that is. It's because you got a big move to the upside. Apple is just sort of a consistent grinder. So it's sort of choppy here in the volume profile. I wouldn't really use the VP on this type of look. I don't like to just. Here's the thing you need to pay attention to, right? With any analysis you do or any indicators you use, don't find a reason for it to be right. Don't make up things to make it right? Don't be like, oh, Apple has a little gap here. No, right? It's got to punch you in the face. It's got to be as clear as day, right? This is clear. Apple's, it's sort of choppy on the VP. I'm not really interested. I'm more interested in the 177 break, right? If you break that 177, then I know there's going to be some slippage there. All right, guys, that's all I got. If you could take a second, if you could press the like button. I know it's hard. Why you press the like button but not me? Why you ask me to press the like button but not me? If you could press the like button, that would be fantastic. I would very much appreciate it. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you supporting the streams. If you if you're feeling really special, press the subscribe button. You know, if you're feeling real good today, if you're just like, oh, today's a good day, I'm going to press the subscribe button. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah. I need to watch some Doc. Who's watching Doc? Violence, speed, momentum. Shout out to the Colt. Sending the Jets. Horn. Thank you guys for being here. And yeah, go watch ADR for Market Open. Shout out ADR. Big things coming. All right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.